Hey y'all, it's your girl Althea Williams. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You don't want to miss any of my updates about movies, shows, reviews, or anything. And I would love to come into your home tonight, or today, or morning, or whatever time you're watching this, and discuss something with you. So I just watched this new show called Happy Face. Happy Face. I think it's Happy Face Killer. Make sure I have the right name. Happy Face. It's a TV series. It came out this year, 2025, on Paramount Plus. And I'm going to read the description. The story of Melissa Jasperson Moore, who's at the age of 15 discovered that her father, Keith Hunter Jasperson, was a serial murderer known as the Happy Face Killer. Now, I know I messed that last name up. It's Jesperson. I do apologize. I was not trying to mess up nobody's name. So we learned that Melissa is... it opens up, okay, her daughter's having a birthday party. Well, a birthday. And Melissa works at a TV station. And she does makeup. And she does makeup. And her boss is Greg and Ivy. Greg is the doctor, and he interviews people like true crime stuff and just anything. So she was helping prep a lady about doing an interview about her daughter had been missing for a year or whatever, or got killed a year ago, and she was trying to convince her to do the show. And she's like, no one's gonna hear her. And she was like, do it or whatever. And something snapped, and she thought that she wasn't gonna do it, and she ends up doing it. So Melissa, daughter, gets a card from her father, Keith, in prison. It's a birthday card. And she's like, who is this person? Because basically Melissa and her husband told her kids that her father was deceased. Because, of course, he's on death row for offing women. He was a truck driver. And Keith reached to have been sending cards. But this time, this card didn't. It made it to the daughter. Because the father had went for a jog then where he brought the mail in. And I guess the mom was, I think she was fixing the daughter here. I can't remember exactly what she was doing. And the daughter had opened the letter, and she was like, Mom, who is such and such? And she's like, where is that at? And she realized her daughter done opened the mail, and she's started reading the card or whatever. Somewhere, the card or whatever. And she didn't read the card yet. She was like, I got a card. And she's like, what are you talking about? She's like, I got a card from somebody. She's like, it's for my birthday. And yes, like, y'all, it was really, really... I really like the show, and I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm ready for the next episode, because I watched 2 episodes, and Melissa ends up she actually goes to go get candles after work later on that day, and she gets a track phone, and she makes a call. She steps outside, she makes a call. Her new neighbor comes up trying to talk to her, and Melissa's like, no, I'm on the phone, I gotta make a phone call. So she made a call to her father. She basically blessed him out, like, saved my life or whatever. And the next day she goes to work, and she was about to go. I think she was about to do some makeup, and they was like, no, Greg needs to see me. She's like, Greg doesn't ever need to see me. So Greg was like, Happy Face Killer reached out to them, and he said he wanted to talk to me and you. He was like, why would he want to talk to us? And he was like, he's supposed to be calling back. And she was like, she basically like, she had no idea. He was like, are you sure? He's like, before he calls back and you tell me who you are, you might want to tell me why does he want to talk to both of us? And who are you to him? And she was hesitant, and then he was on the phone. She's like, he's my father. Because at first I thought it was going to be, because Ivy came in there and she was like, oh, so you're one of those women that are in love with serial killers. And she was like, no, whatever. And she's like, it's not that or whatever. So she does tell them that he's her father. And he was like, he wants to tell Melissa something. Melissa end up talking. Melissa ends up going to go see her father, and he tells her it's another woman. He does tell them out on the phone. He was like, I won't tell the name unless Melissa comes to see me. And Melissa's like, I'm not going to go see him. Basically, it's like BS. It's not true. You don't have another victim. It's nobody else. And come to find out, we do find out that it is another woman. And he talks about how he picked her up in Texas, and there is a guy actually awaiting the death penalty because he offed her boyfriend did. And it was actually Keith, Melissa's father. And he talks about how he he offed her or whatever. He picked her up or whatever. He said all of them he picked up, he never essayed them. They didn't willingly slept with him. And Melissa thought the word of her dad. She's like, every time, when she went to go visit him, he's like, every time, I would off a lady or whatever. He said, I'm saying because I don't want to get flagged, so I can't say the other word. What am I saying? When he does, do what he does to the women, he always brought her a present back. He said, that time, the last present I brought a trampoline for you. And she was like, what does a trampoline do? So she goes to visit her mom. And, of course, her mom is married now. And she's married to a man that is deaf. And they're corresponding or whatever. And she was like, can I go to the basement and go look for something? He lets her go to the basement. She's looking for receipts. Her mom's like, her mom throws away everything from the past or whatever. Melissa actually does so much scene when Melissa was 15 and in school, and she gets jumped by, I want to say 4 girls. It doesn't really, the camera's going by so fast. She gets jumped and they dump all her stuff in her book bag, and they beat her up pretty bad. And I felt so bad for her because of what her dad did, and it was just like, wow. So she ends up, she asked her mom about the trampoline. Her mom was like, she don't have the trampoline. So her Ivy, she was like, can you give my daughter a minute or whatever? Because she's like, she hasn't come home or whatever. It's like, Mom, I called and left voicemails. And she said, you didn't answer the phone. So Melissa talks to her mother, and Ivy goes outside, and she realized she finds the trampoline after Melissa's mother says she doesn't have it no more. So they look at the trampoline, they see where it's from, and y'all, it was just crazy. So it was summer in Texas that he got the trampoline, and she still had the guitar stick from when her dad had picked the girl up and she was playing the guitar. He said she wanted to be a star, and he said he offed her because she started getting the big head, basically saying she's going to be a star. And she said one day you're going to tell somebody you got to sleep with a star. And he offs her, and then he throws her into the river, and of course they do find her body, and they think her boyfriend did it because he had the prints, because she said her car had broke down. And y'all, it was just crazy. And she was like, she told her husband, she's like, she kept all the letters that her father had sent her in the safe box, and she was like, go in there and you'll find the safe number is our anniversary. He goes in there, and she's like, dump the perfume box. And she said it's like trinkets my dad gave her. So her daddy, every time he would off a lady, he would bring her a present. And he brought her the guitar stick because he was like, this guitar stick is yours, because at first one of her siblings were trying to get it. And Melissa thought the world of her dad, because her daddy called her Missy, because when he first saw her when she came to the prison, he was like, Missy. She's like, you don't get to call me that. And then she slipped up and called him dad. And it was just like, y'all, when she got back to the studio and she got to talk to Greg, and they had like an audience conversation with everybody, and her husband was supporting her and her daughters, because the daughter found out about the grandfather on being the happy face killer. When her mom had called, and he went to go get the gifts out of the safe box and the letters, but he was going in there for the gifts. She's like, look for like the guitar pick, and it had where it came from. Because the dad wouldn't tell him when he came. He wouldn't tell him the name. He was like, Melissa knows who it is. And she was like, I don't know who it is, because she went to the bathroom. And one of the wardens came, one of the police officers came, and he was talking to her, and he was trying to come on to her. And she looked at the camera. He was like, I was trying to see if you was like a sick F-U-C-K like your father. Because they say, the apple don't fall too far from the tree about when your parents are what they are. You're just like them. And I felt so bad for Melissa. And she started crying during the interview. He was like, you're not like your father. And Dr. Greg, he wasn't, like really harsh. He gave her the interview. You know how some people be being a-holes when they do interviews, and they're on TV, and they're trying to pressure you to say some things. And Melissa, her husband, was in the audience sitting there. He was, basically nodding his head and like, telling her he's there for her. And when she agreed to do it, she was like, she wanted to get the kids' approval. And he was like, for what? They don't know. And then her daughter was like, yeah, I came clean. I told somebody. And she told somebody at school. And I'm going to go ahead and say all these kids, basically, so her daughter's getting picked on. And one of the girls was basically like, we call you Bushy because of something personal. I'm just like, bruh, why do kids bully each other? So basically her daughter ends up shoplifting while her mom's away, and she shoplifts a bikini stuff so she can wax or whatever. And because of the nickname they gave her, Bushy or whatever. And I'm just like, y'all, it's crazy. And so she tells her friend, she's like, one of the girls, she's like, we're not friends like we used to be. The girl's like, we're still friends. So she said, well, my grandfather, he's the happy face killer. And the girl ends up telling, so the next day the girl confronts her. She's like, well, I heard you got caught shoplifting. Like, you're like your grandfather. Isn't he the one that was famous for the notorious for, offering the women? She was like, so she said it, so she was quiet. She's like, so it is true. And they tell the little boy, because I think he's 9 or whatever, something about like the grandfather was still alive, or because it was lying to the grandkids. It was lying to their kids, Keith's grandkids. And y'all, it may have been, I may be all over the place with it, but I really did like the show. It was actually really good. And I can't wait till the rest of the episodes come out. What all we're gonna learn. I didn't know that much about the Happy Face Killer. There's a movie actually for it that I want to watch it, and I actually want to do deep dive into it. So actually, after he would off his victim, he would put a smiley face on there, because when they asked to record him when they first went to the prison, they say you need a sign. He signed a smiley face. When they told the police that the happy face killer killed the girl from the bar, it was like, no, he's like, we already got somebody. The DA did not even want to open the case again. So that's what the reason why she came forward and said that the happy face, he is her dad. And how she kept, I'm gonna go ahead and say, I don't know how she kept her identity up. Now I'm gonna go ahead and say, I'm gonna do some more deep diving, because I don't know all about the story, but in the show it's like, she kept her identity. But I see why, because them girls jumped her and that wasn't cool, because of what her dad did. And I don't know why people are so cruel like that. That is like so sad. I felt so bad for her. But the show is really good. I really do highly recommend. I'll give it a I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It really is interesting. It's very detailed. At the end of episode 2, we see a trucker. He's reading the magazine about the happy face killing the daughter coming forward. And I'm going to go ahead and say, well, where is this one going? Where is it going? So I had to go ahead and say, who is the trucker and what does he know about this little girl? What does he know about Melissa? And I really do like it. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. So the granddaughter goes to the museum, and the lady's like, she's like, so he's your grandfather? Yeah. She's like, do you have any paintings of him? She's like, I do have a painting. So I'll pay you $100. She said, because she said when he does paintings, he sell out really fast. She's like, oh my God, they get to sell paintings in prison? She was like, yeah, they do. They have their ways of going around. And I'm like, what the heck? The lady from the museum is really trying to, I think it's like a true crime museum. It was a lot of stuff going on, but it was actually good. I do highly recommend everybody watch it on Paramount Plus, and I will be doing more reviews on it. And I'm so glad you guys listened to my discussion about Happy Face series on Paramount Plus. I hope you guys like it, and I hope you guys check it out on Paramount Plus. And I think it drops on every Thursday. Let me see when the next episode drops. March 27th, so it drops every Thursday. It did give us 2 episodes, and I think it's going to be a total of 8 episodes, I think it said, but I definitely do recommend people watch Happy Face. It's good to me. I liked it. And I want to see where this trucker is, and who this trucker is to her. Who this trucker is, because he was looking at her picture. What's this? What's this about to be about? But yeah, we'll see somebody that helped her dad, or he know her dad, or something. But we're going to be deep diving in some more episodes. Can't wait to see you guys on Thursday. All right. Have a good one.